very distinguished chairman, for yielding and for his leadership. I especially want to thank Michelle Fishbach for her leadership and compassion by offering and authoring this legislation to protect pregnancy care centers from discrimination and to ensure that they can continue their important work of assisting families in need. I was at a New Jersey pregnancy center dinner a few years ago when two women, through tears of joy, expressed their deep and abiding gratitude for the incredible love, respect, and care that persuaded them to reverse their decision to abort their babies. They spoke of how desperate, even hopeless they were. They spoke about the pressure that they were under to abort, until they met the director of the Pregnancy Resource Center, who reached out to both of them different times, but within about a month, in a gentle and non-judgmental way. They chose life, and thank God, the director and the Pregnancy Center for helping them to avert the loss of their precious babies' lives. Then, Mr. Speaker, two teenage girls took to the podium and spoke about their lives, school, sports, friends, and their reverence for the sanctity of human life. Near the end of their remarks, they turned towards the director of the center and thanked her for being there when their moms, through that very difficult time, and said, if you weren't there for them, we'd be dead. Coming from two girls standing at the podium. And that has been replicated many, many times throughout the country. There are more than 55 pregnancy care centers in my district. I've been to many of them. It is filled with the most loving and compassionate and honest people I have ever met. So all the smear that we always hear, I find that so objectionable. They are an amazing group of women, they're almost all women, who run these pregnancy care centers. Consider the story of Jean Marie Davis, a mother and a survivor of human trafficking. And I know a little about human trafficking. I've written 5 laws on trafficking, including the landmark Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000. Big, heavy emphasis on victims, trauma-informed. And we have one now pending to further that effort. Well, this woman, Jean Marie Davis, is a survivor of trafficking who says her life was saved by a pregnancy care center. She said, I was trafficked in 33 states. She went on, even though I was losing weight from the drugs, my belly kept growing, and soon I discovered that pregnancy would ultimately save my life. Fighting despair with a $1.38 to her name, she had almost no place to turn. She was connected with a woman named Phyllis at a local pregnancy care center, and she says, the pregnancy center provided me with free resources and support. And then, when the child was born, to take care of my son. I was able to realize and pursue dreams I had never imagined, because these people have such compassion, not the smear we hear from the other side, compassion. And I'm amazed at that you say these things about these wonderful people. Years later, she applied, and now she's the executive director of the Branches Pregnancy Resource Center in Vermont. She's giving back. She was given so much by these individuals, and now she's giving back. Across the U.S., there are more than 2,700 pregnancy centers offering mothers and their precious children an oasis of love, compassion, and care. One report found that in 2024, $452 million in free medical care was provided. And I've been to these, there's so many nurses at these pregnancy care centers. You know, they do ultrasounds. And frankly, when the woman does see the baby, it is transformational. You don't get that at a Planned Parenthood clinic at all. They talk about it, the child being a non-entity and not a human being. Recognizing the extraordinary care provided at these centers, some states, and there's at least 6 of them, including the distinguished chairmen from Missouri, that do provide TANF funding, and Biden was in the process of promulgating a rule that would have precluded that. We can't allow that to happen now or ever. This important legislation, again, I can't thank Michelle enough for it, would ensure that pregnancy centers cannot be excluded or restricted from receiving TANF funding as a result of discrimination and the smear campaign that they suffer. Hopefully the Supreme Court will soon render its decision on a very important case coming out of my state and I do think it will be favorable. These are amazing centers, and we ought to be supporting them, not smearing them. Yield back the balance of my time.